The war in the Ukraine has implications for the Asia-Pacific. There are potential flashpoints and contentious issues in our region too, which, if not managed well, could escalate to open conflict. Countries with interests in the region need to pursue all efforts to settle disagreements through peaceful means so that we can avoid reaching a point of no return. I discussed with the President his recent visit to Europe and the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. Singapore is a staunch supporter of international law and the UN Charter, which prohibits acts of aggression against a sovereign state. And that's why we've strongly condemned the unprovoked attack by Russia on Ukraine. The sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity of all countries, big and small, must be respected. The unprovoked military invasion of a sovereign country under any pretext is unacceptable. We cannot condone any country arguing that another country's independence is the result of historical errors and crazy decisions. I shared with President Biden the measures that Singapore has taken to constrain Russia's capacity to conduct war against Ukraine. Our actions are based on principles that are fundamental to our survival and existence as an independent sovereign nation. We've upheld these principles and voted in accordance with them at the UN in successive crises over many decades involving different countries. The war in the Ukraine has implications for the Asia-Pacific. There are potential flashpoints and contentious issues in our region too, which, if not managed well, could escalate to open conflict. Countries with interests in the region need to pursue all efforts to settle disagreements through peaceful means so that we can avoid reaching a point of no return. It's important, therefore, to keep open channels of dialogue between countries, including at the highest level. This will help to manage developments in order to avoid conflict and prevent misreading each other's intentions.
Today, with the Prime Minister's visit and Singapore's strong leadership on this issue, it's clear that Putin's war is unacceptable to nations in every region of the world, not just Europe, but in every region of the world. It's an attack on the core international principles that underpin peace and security and prosperity everywhere, including in the Indo-Pacific. Today, Singapore and the United States are united and sending the message to all nations, regardless of their size or population. They are equal in their rights on the global stage. They have a right to sovereignty and territorial integrity and to determine their own future, free from violence and intimidation.
The President and I discussed the importance of the U.S. growing both its strategic and economic stakes in the Asia-Pacific. It's important to advance a positive economic agenda that's open, inclusive, up-to-date, and flexible. We therefore welcome America's proposed Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, which will strengthen America's engagement in the evolving regional economic architecture. Singapore is the second largest Asian investor in the U.S., and the U.S. is the largest investor in Singapore. Singapore's investments in the U.S. and U.S. exports to Singapore support over 250,000 American jobs. On the defense front, Singapore is a major security cooperation partner of the U.S., in fact, the only country with this status. Singapore deeply appreciates President Biden's leadership in strengthening U.S. engagement in the region. We welcome his intention to host an ASEAN-US Special Summit here soon. It's a strong affirmation of American commitment to Southeast Asia and to ASEAN centrality.
We're going to continue to deepen our partnership and seize the opportunities to meet the challenges of the moment and to meet them together. Fighting COVID-19, making sure we're prepared for the next pandemic, increasing our climate ambitions and working to decarbonize the shipping sector, cooperating in everything from cybersecurity to space exploration, promoting a broad-based economic growth throughout the Indo-Pacific, including by working together to develop an Indo-Pacific economic framework that will drive enduring prosperity across the region. So thank you again, Prime Minister Lee. I always appreciate consulting with you, and as I told you, both you and Singapore punch way above your weight, way above your weight. And I value the time we spend together and look forward to many more meetings.
I am very pleased that as a follow-up to the discussion that you and I had in Singapore, that Singapore has signed on to the Artemis Accords, which of course is a partnership between many nations, Southeast Asia now being represented, to recognize what we can do together to expand international norms as it relates to all matters, including matters in space.
The Vice President and I reviewed progress on the substantial agenda of deliverables announced on her visit last year. We've established a bilateral cyber dialogue to work together on critical infrastructure protection, data security, and sharing of best practices in support of a rules-based multilateral order in cyberspace. Singapore has signed the Artemis Accords, which aim to promote the peaceful, sustainable, and beneficial use of space. We are the first Southeast Asian country to sign on, and we had a good discussion about this because Vice President chairs the White House National Space Council. So I'm very glad that the Vice President and I were able to meet again to discuss ways to take our partnership to even greater heights, and we look forward to the next occasion to meet the Vice President once more, either in Washington or, I hope, in Singapore.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you.